Well, hey there, it's Monday. It's Monday, December 18th, and here's a video where I answer questions of the day. Uh, I would say almost frequently, sometimes always, sometimes always, I could say. I receive questions about products that I've built here in Microsoft Excel. People would like help with copies that they have, or they would like newer versions. So I like to respond in a video oftentimes because frequently I'll have to do something to a product for you to answer your question, like update it, or sometimes I won't have to update anything. I just have a copy lying around and I can refer you to the video of the day. So let's talk about the questions I'm receiving today and over the last several days that I'd like to update everyone on the most common products that are purchased and used. We're going to start with payroll. And after we discuss payroll, we're going to discuss another file that's used to simulate parlays and betting. Round Robin Parlays. It's a parlay calculator. Got asked to purchase a copy of this today. We'll get into how this thing is used. And for fun, we'll talk about football and the football picks for the week. And also we'll use that in the simulation of the Round Robin Parlay calculator file so that you can see what it can do. But let's go to payroll. And the reason why we'll talk about payroll is there are dozens for sure, dozens of people that are waiting on me for their new copy this year. Businesses across the country that use this small payroll file to help organize your business's payroll and to do exactly what you want to do. I've built this thing in a modular fashion so that, it's like a monkey built it. Like everything has its own column of data in one place for you. And you only have to enter data in one spot. You generally have to answer a question about an employee name, a day, the number of hours they work or the type of hour they work, or if they worked on a project, or if they work, anything you want. Everything has its columns. Some you're going to use, some not. You're going to use tips, right? There's all kinds of things here. It rolls forward to a main data file, and it just makes it super easy to keep track of every single paycheck and report for your business here. All these different areas. There are formulas. It just makes it real easy to use. Now, that's why I built this. I built this because I had to do this for a multi-state business over a decade ago. We're approaching 15 years, I think, of the life of this file. It's been around a long time. And I've sold hundreds. Yeah, I've sold hundreds. It's definitely in the hundreds over the last decade plus to businesses all over the country in many different areas of business. I've built subversions of this file to work with farm and the separate reports that are relating to farming and agriculture businesses. There's just so many things I've done with it. So like, how do I keep this going? Like the question I get is, where's my 2024 file, Ken? And the answer to the question, where is it? Is it's here, but it's not ready yet. And it can't be ready yet. And the reason why it can't be ready yet is because basically the government is, the IRS is issuing their guidance about what the rates are for next year. And unfortunately, they're still in draft status, meaning the publication 15T that has the rates for next year was updated on December 12th, which is quite recent, within a week, it's been updated, but it's still in draft status. And I can tell you that there always have changes from draft status to final. There's a reason why it's in draft, because something was probably still up in the air. And I've noticed that it's not worth it to try to program this file for the draft version, because you are always going to have to change it and it won't be current. So I can't sell you the file until it's done, until the publication 15T and until the publication 15, the main one here. This one hasn't been updated. Also December 12th. That's the T. Wait, there's another one. I have the 15 and the 15T. Maybe I don't. I only downloaded one actually. Point is I look, the publication 15 is also in draft status still, which has more extensive legislation rules related to things other than the rates. But let me show you how we can still get started. Because if you have a version yourself and you wanted to try to not even buy my copy this year and update it yourself, I can show you all the things you would have to do. But I just want to focus on one little area to kind of show you, to give you some information about what the projected rates are for next year, because the advantages of the IRS at least issuing this draft status, as we scroll through all the different formulas in this file, you get to the area where all the federal tax stuff is lodged. Okay. Here at like column KJ, and there's like 6 or 7 columns here. And basically what you have is you have one which is related to the rates from last year. And we're going to focus on the old W-4 rates, because here's where I noticed that there is a significant inflation for, adjusted inflation rates and stuff. They did basically, raise the thresholds of the different levels of tax, meaning they basically, it looks like you're getting a slight discount, meaning like you're saving a little bit this year compared to last year because they raised the rate thresholds. And I'll show you what that means and kind of what the impact is, even though it's not final, everybody. As you look through the publication 15, it's not final. So here we go. This is where we get to see the good stuff. This is 2024. All right, perfect. So what they've provided you here in the publication 15 and what you need is they have all these questions about how you would calculate the percentage tables for each type of scenario that your employee might be in. And that means that in the employee file here, you're able to see that you choose all these different things related to your employee here in the beginning. Like, are you using a current year W-4 or not, right? Well, let's say that Betty Boom Bop is not using a current year W-4. And I don't recommend this, but there's different rates in the file for different scenarios. The old W-4 rates are right here. The new ones are here, and there's a question on the newer W-4 about whether or not you check a box because it changes the rate. So there's 6 different scenarios that you have to program for in the newer year W-4 version. I know we're getting really complicated, but this is what you're paying me for, and why I do sell a new file every year, because you have to do this every year. Now, what you can see is they list a bunch of these different tables here, and they give you all the different scenarios about what the payroll period could be. It could be weekly, it could be semi-monthly, it could be bi-weekly. And they did this in the way you can see there's like 6 tables for each one of the payroll scenarios. Well, what's smart about the payroll sprat in the Excel file is that I've built this to handle all of them. And the way that I did that was I set up some formulas in the file that allow you to simply change the payroll frequency here and pick your new pay date. Like let's roll this thing forward to the new year. We're going to be, say this new year is 1/1/24. Like first paycheck date came on January 1st, 24. We're gonna, change this whole thing for the new year. We'll start, this default date is going to be 1/1/24. We're rolling all these different things into the new year, but I have made it modular and easy to do this. And the way that I was able to do this was simply by using formulas and running everything at an annual rate. So you annualize everything and then you divide by the number of payroll periods in the year, which is the formulaic way to do this in the easiest fashion. So what you get here is you get all these crazy tables. How do you update them in the Excel file? And I will show you how you do that. They usually provide an annual formula. Here it is, for example. So this one right here, like what is this? And what is it doing? You're going to be looking at the annual payroll period one. Well, what is this thing? This is the manual payroll system for the old W-4, the one from 2019 or earlier. Okay, so that's this formula right here for married people. Where's the annual one? Here. We're looking at this annual pay period for married for single. See how this formula, it's like if the taxable wages are $16,300 or less, you pay 0. If they're 39,500 or but greater than 16,300, you pay 10%. All those formulas have already been created and saved for last year right here. So for example, we're looking at that married one. This married one, like that first threshold number was 14,800 last year. And now this year, it's up to 16,300. So you have to go through here and you have to change all of these formulas. 16,300, is that what it was? Yeah. So I got to go through and do all that. I'm not going to do that though. Why? Because this is draft status, everybody. And draft status is never, this thing is probably going to change. I don't know that for sure, but every year something changes somewhere and you cannot program to the draft. But that is, in theory, how you do that, do that formula when this is finalized. So here we are on December 18th, and I'm just sitting around here waiting for them to finalize. And everyone is. Every payroll provider in America that's preparing for next year, while some of them may put the draft numbers in there, I can tell you those things are usually going to be wrong. So you got to wait. And there's nothing I can do other than sit back and understand that it does look like taxes are going to go down a little bit in theory, because they're raising those thresholds on some of those numbers. We don't know the full detail yet, and I can't provide the products to you yet. And so I'm just sitting around waiting to do that. But the cool thing about this is that every day, and the requests are really going to start coming in for payroll heavily, very, 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 very soon. Everyone's getting ready because, unfortunately, you have to do all this updating in one shot when they finalize these files, because this is generally not going to change throughout the year, and certainly it is legal to program and withhold by the rates that are published in the annual publication 15 and 15T when they are finalized. That is the law you're supposed to be following anyway. So you just can't get the product done until that's final, and until it's ready for the year. So I will be paying attention to that, and of course glancing at some states which may have finalized. However, a lot of the states can't finalize yet. Why? You guessed it, because the federal government hasn't finalized yet. So the states that rely on the federal government forms don't finalize their forms until the federal government does in many instances. So that's why we're kind of stuck here a week before Christmas. Oh, and who's going to be working over the Christmas break to do this? Oh, yeah. No, there's no vacation on Christmas break for payroll providers. It's the most hectic time of the year. But we'll get it done. And so I wanted to share the payroll information for the year. Now, for the other product that was asked to be purchased today, which I actually can provide, is the Round Robin Parlay calculator. We'll talk about football, because there's a football game, a Monday night game, starting in about 15 minutes from when I... No, this is wrong. It's not the Chiefs and the Patriots. No, it's Philadelphia and somebody. Right? It's Philadelphia and the Seahawks tonight. Are there two games tonight? Oh my goodness. I need to ask Google. Hold on a second. No, I think that's all there is. Wait a minute. Let's take a look. Monday night. Yeah, no, this is the Eagles and the Seahawks. So I have the days wrong in the file here for football, because I haven't been spending enough time with football. I'm sorry. Another product that I have up here, because I have been asked about football, and I have to answer the question, update it. But I'm not spending my time on this and sports betting. As you can see, I've migrated away from that a lot on this channel, yet I still get asked about stuff. So here you go. Well, the Philadelphia game, which is not necessarily a loss yet because they have not played tonight, while somehow it's stuck on the wrong day, it does show that Philadelphia should win this game. These other games actually got completed though, right? And so what you like to do, the Round Robin Parlay calculator is really cool. There were 16 games. You cannot fit 16 in this file. You can only fit 15. So I guess that would mean don't include the Philadelphia game, right? Just include these other ones. Let's see, we'll hold down control. Yeah. Grab this. If you grab all these games and you put them in the file, you'll be able to simulate what different payouts would have been generated by using the algorithm's picks. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. You're going to grab the money line because the money line is the line you could have wagered on the team. It goes right here. And then whether or not the team lost or won. That's the cool thing about the simulation part of this file, is if you go and you get an answer to that question here, and we skip over the Philadelphia game, did or did they not win the game? You can paste that over this win-loss area. Oh, it's not. Oh, goodness, we have to change it. So, well, we'll just do it like this real quick. And here's the little formula. Equals if this equals no, then loss. Otherwise, win. See if that works. Voila. So what happened here? These are all the lines. It looks like many of them were favorites, except for there was an underdog Cowboys, underdog Minnesota, underdog Bears, underdog Chargers. The only underdog that wins is Carolina in this list. So it did not do very good. However, it did okay at the top. Actually didn't do bad here. So if you played a 15-team parlay round robin thing, would you put $1 on every one of the combinations for just the twos? You would have lost 23% wagering on all these teams. If you did the threes, you would have lost 38%. You would have wagered $455 and ended up with 281. So it's not a good day putting all 15 teams in here. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting all 15 teams in here. I think that's way too many. How many should you do? Well, you can see that something like this where you look at kind of the top 7, which is a little bit more reasonable. It's still a lot. You can see that you'll do the best if you only focus on the top 6, but I want to make it a little more reasonable and be like, all right, well, what if you took the top 7? I want to throw a loss in there to show you what a more reasonable day is. Here you can see you still are barely losing with the threes. Still not good enough. And that's because these lines are not very good. Yep, you lose money here. So you really have to stick to the top with the top 6 or better. Had you done that, here you start to win money, right? So you do a full round robin of $1 each on the 6s. I think this is a $57 bet. Like, here's a more reasonable wager for the day if you've done this right. Here you win 59%. You can see the line's still not great, so you don't make a ton of money because you only go 5-1. But it would have probably been better just to make straight wagers on those games. Yeah, you end up 1.56 units if you'd made straight bets on all these games, as opposed to, I don't know, is that more money? Actually, that is more money. So it's actually very, very close. You can see 59% and 1.56 over 6. It's very, very close, but it's not you don't get rich doing this. You really have to hit every game, or you have to pick games with really good lines. You can change that around. I don't want to make this about sports, but as you can see, sports betting is really, really tough. It's not like following legal guidance from the IRS and programming formulas. There's more finality and testing of accuracy when it comes to a product like the payroll file. And so I like to provide that more because it is such a headache to do all this yourself, or pay an arm and a leg to a payroll provider to do it for you when they're just waiting to respond to the most current information as well. Like, there's no difference between what you can do and what they can do right now, because we're just waiting, right? So it has to do with just making the updates. And so I'd rather focus on this because one, there are more people that need this for their business. And I enjoy creating a product that makes it so easy for you to keep track of all these things that payroll becomes not necessarily as much of a chore, but something you can just easily poke things into and get the information and all the reporting that you want just right out of it like this. So I'll focus on that. And I'm sure that's where most of the questions are going to be coming from over the next few weeks. And we'll get it all done. All right. Good luck, everyone. Payroll should be easy. May all your picks be winning. And if you want to mess around with the parlay calculator, like someone asked to purchase today, here it is. And here's how it works. All right. Good luck, everyone. Enjoy.